and welcome to Go Overlay Graphics. In this video, we are going to see how to make this paper cut effect illustration in Adobe Illustrator. Also, throughout this video, you get 2 bonus tips on how to make your own leaf brush and star brush in Illustrator. So the first step is to create an artboard. Here I have created an artboard of size 1080 by 1080 pixels. You can create one of any size. Next, I have opened up the reference illustration here and the color palette which I'll be using. You can choose your own colors or you can also use this color palette. So the color codes are listed in the description of this video. Firstly, select the rectangle tool from the toolbar on the left side of the window. Then press Shift and click and drag to draw a square. Change the fill color to gradient fill. Select radial gradient. Select the right marker and the color picker tool and select the color. Again, select the left marker and with the color picker tool selected, select the other gradient color. Click and drag the gradient slider to the left. Next, to create the moon, select the ellipse tool from the toolbar on the left. Then, shift click and drag to draw an even circle. Select the color picker tool and select this as the fill color, or you can also choose white. Then reduce the opacity of this outer circle to 50%. Press Ctrl plus C to copy this shape and press Shift plus Ctrl plus V to paste it in the same position. Again, press Alt and Shift and click and drag the corners to reduce the size. Next, copy this shape and paste it in place and reduce the size again. And now increase the opacity of this last circle all the way to 100%. Select all the circles, then press Shift and click and drag to reduce the size and position it somewhere here. The next thing is to make the clouds. So for that, select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle like this. Then select the ellipse tool and draw 3 to 4 ellipses like this. Make sure all these shapes are attached with each other. Now select all the shapes and click the merge all from the pathfinder toolbar. So now this merges all the shape to form this one single shape. Press Shift and reduce the size and then position it somewhere near the moon or wherever you want it to be. Copy this cloud pressing Ctrl plus C and paste pressing Ctrl plus V. Reduce the size pressing Shift and then flip it horizontally and then position it somewhere here. Next, for the mountains, select the ellipse tool and draw 2 ellipses like this. Just click and drag without pressing Shift to form an ellipse. Select the color picker tool and then choose a color from the color palette. You can also apply any color of your own for this. Now let's create the stars. So for the stars, we will create a new type of brush called scatter brush. So for that, select the ellipse tool and draw a tiny circle with the fill color as white. Next, go to window and then brushes. Create a new brush. Select scatter brush. Change the size to random. Lower limit to something around 34 and upper limit to 100. Spacing to random and limits 500 to 1500. Again, scatter to random with limits between 100 to 1500 and then hit OK. Now select the brush tool from the toolbar and select the new brush that you have just created, and now just click and drag to draw the stars. Next, we select the 2 mountains and press Ctrl plus Shift plus right square bracket to bring it on top. Next, let's make the window. So for that, select the rectangle tool and draw a square. Pick a color for this with the color picker tool. Draw another rectangle within this square in the middle. With the selection tool, click on the 2 corner points pressing Shift on the keyboard and then click and drag them inwards to make them rounded. Align it to the center of the artboard both horizontally and vertically. Now select the 2 shapes and then click on Exclude Front on the Pathfinder toolbar. After that, select this shape and copy pressing Ctrl plus C and Shift Ctrl plus V to paste in the same place. Press Alt plus Shift and click and drag a corner to increase the size. Select the color picker tool and select a color from the color palette or as per your preference. Then repeat the same steps to draw another layer of the window and change the color. I'll move the mountains a little bit towards the bottom. Next, we have to make this planter. So for this, we'll create a leaf brush. Select the ellipse tool and draw an ellipse. Pick the color with the color picker tool. Then right click on the pen tool on the toolbar and select the anchor point tool, and then just click on the 2 anchor points of this ellipse. Press Alt and click and drag to make a copy of this leaf. press Shift and rotate it. Again, create another copy by pressing Alt and click and drag. Select the two shapes, go to Object, Blend and Blend options. Change the settings, spacing to specified steps and the number of steps to something around 3. Again, select the two shapes, go to Object, Blend and then Make. Now make a copy of these leaves by pressing Ctrl plus C and Shift Ctrl plus V to paste it in place. Then flip the copied shape horizontally and then reposition it. Next, let's draw the stem. For this, select the line tool and draw a line in the upward direction. Increase the stroke width and then change the stroke profile to this width profile 4. Position the leaf, select the line and then go to Object and Expand Appearance. Again, Object and then Expand. Similarly, select these two leaf groups and go to Object, Expand and hit OK. Now select all the shapes and merge them into one from the Pathfinder window. Select this leaf pattern and go to Window, Brushes, Create New Brush. Select Art Brush. From the Brush Scale options, select Scale Proportionately and select the method as U-Shift and then hit OK. So the new brush is created. Now let's delete this shape from here. Select the Brush tool from the toolbar and with this newly created brush selected, draw the plants. Next, we need to make the plant vase. For that, select the Rectangle tool and draw a rectangle. With the direct selection tool, click and drag the bottom anchor points inwards. Position the plants and vase and then place it on the windowsill. So now that we are done with the illustration, the next step is very simple. All you need to do is just apply drop shadows to each and every layer of the object that's been created. So let's start with the moon. Select the outer circle, go to Effects, Stylize and then Drop Shadow. You can apply these settings or can also play around with the parameters to create shadows in whichever direction you want, just that it should be inside directed. Let's apply to the next circle, the moon, then the stars, mountains, each and every window layer, the vase and the planters. So this way we have created a paper cut effect in Illustrator. It's all about drop shadows. So lastly, let's select everything and group them pressing Ctrl plus G on the keyboard. Then draw another square on top in the size of this artboard and select the square and the object group. Right click and select Create Clipping Mask. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and share this video if you found it helpful. And yes, subscribe for more quick graphic design tutorials.